Have you ever wondered what a real millionaire looks like? Forget the flashy cars, designer clothes, and sprawling mansions you see on TV. The truth, according to the groundbreaking book The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko, is much more surprising. For over 20 years, these researchers studied the ultra-wealthy in America, and what they found will completely change your perspective on money and success. They discovered that most millionaires don't live in Beverly Hills or drive Lamborghinis. They live in average neighborhoods, drive reliable, often older cars, and you probably wouldn't even notice them in a crowd. They are the millionaires next door. Today, we're going to dive deep into the 7 key secrets they uncovered, showing you the real path to building wealth. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about a mindset and a lifestyle that anyone can adopt. The very first and most important rule the authors found is this: millionaires live well below their means. This might sound simple, almost too simple, but it's the absolute foundation of wealth creation. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. The people in the book, many of whom were self-made, understood that every dollar saved is a dollar that can be invested and grown. They weren't cheap, but they were frugal. They actively resisted the pressure to upgrade their lifestyle every time they got a raise. While their neighbors were buying new cars and bigger houses to show off their income, the future millionaires were paying themselves first, channeling that extra cash into investments. They mastered the art of delayed gratification, understanding that a small sacrifice today leads to massive freedom tomorrow. Think about it. If you earn a high salary but spend every single penny, you're not building wealth. You're just a high-income consumer, one paycheck away from trouble. The key is to create a gap between what you earn and what you spend, and then make that gap work for you. Secret number 2 is that millionaires allocate their time, energy, and money efficiently in ways that build wealth. This is where planning comes in. The authors found that wealthy individuals are meticulous planners. They spend significantly more time planning their finances than the average person. We're talking about creating budgets, setting financial goals, and researching investments. They treat their personal finances like a business. A successful business owner wouldn't just wing it, right? They'd have a business plan, track their revenue and expenses, and make strategic decisions. Millionaires do the same thing with their own money. They know exactly where their money is going each month. They set clear, long-term goals, like retiring by a certain age or having a specific net worth. This focus allows them to make conscious spending decisions. They ask themselves, will this purchase move me closer to my goals or further away? This deliberate approach prevents mindless spending and ensures that their resources are always aligned with their ultimate objective, financial independence. This leads us to the 3rd secret. They believe that financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. This is a huge mindset shift. Our society constantly bombards us with messages that success means owning expensive things. They derive their satisfaction not from what other people think of them, but from their own security and freedom. They have what the authors call a go-to-hell fund, enough money saved up. That feeling of independence, of not being controlled by a paycheck, is far more valuable to them than any luxury item. These individuals are quietly playing the wealth game, focused on actually becoming rich. It's a powerful distinction, looking rich versus being rich, and they always choose the latter. Secret number 4 is that their parents did not provide economic outpatient care. This is a fascinating concept. Essentially, the authors found that adults who receive regular, significant financial gifts from their parents are often worse off financially. It sounds counterintuitive, but it makes sense. When you're constantly bailed out or subsidized, you never learn to stand on your own 2 feet. You don't develop the discipline, the frugality, and the resourcefulness that are essential for building wealth. The children of the wealthy who became millionaires themselves were typically the ones who were encouraged to be independent and self-sufficient. They learned the value of a dollar because they had to earn it themselves. This doesn't mean their parents didn't love them. It means they gave them something more valuable than money, the skills to create their own success. It's a lesson for parents too. Teaching financial responsibility is a greater gift than just handing over cash. Secret number 5 is that their adult children are economically self-sufficient. This is the natural outcome of the previous point. The millionaires next door raise their children to understand and practice the same principles of frugality and hard work. They instill a strong work ethic and teach them about budgeting, saving, and investing from a young age. The goal is to raise producers, not just consumers. As a result, their children don't become dependent on the family fortune. They go out and create their own success, continuing the cycle of responsible wealth building. This is how true generational wealth is created, not just by passing down assets, but by passing down the mindset and habits that created those assets in the first place. They ensure their legacy isn't just money, but financial wisdom. Now, let's talk about how they find opportunities. Secret number 6 is that they are proficient in targeting market opportunities. The book found that many self-made millionaires are business owners, often in industries that might seem dull or unglamorous. Think welding contractors, pest controllers, or scrap metal dealers. These aren't the sexy tech startups you hear about in the news. Why these industries? Because they're often overlooked. There's less competition, and they provide essential services that people will always need, regardless of the economy. These entrepreneurs identified a niche, became experts in it, and provided incredible value to their customers. They weren't trying to invent the next big thing. They were focused on running a profitable, sustainable business. They understood that wealth comes from solving problems for people and getting paid well to do it, not from chasing fleeting trends. Finally, the 7th secret is perhaps the most crucial. They chose the right occupation. Now, this doesn't mean everyone has to be a doctor or a lawyer. As we just saw, many were entrepreneurs in so-called dull normal industries. The key is that they chose a path that allowed for wealth accumulation. For those who weren't business owners, they were often skilled professionals or expert salespeople who lived frugally and invested wisely. They found careers where their income wasn't strictly tied to their hours worked. They could earn commissions, bonuses, or build equity. But the bigger point is that they aligned their career choice with their financial goals. They didn't just stumble into a job. They strategically chose a field where they could earn a good income and then applied the other 6 principles to turn that income into lasting wealth. So, to recap the 7 secrets from The Millionaire Next Door: 1. Always live below your means. 2. Manage your time, energy, and money to build wealth. 3. Prioritize financial freedom over social status. 4. Don't become dependent on financial handouts. 5. Raise your children to be financially self-sufficient. 6. Get good at spotting market opportunities. And 7. Choose the right occupation. What I love about this book is that its message is incredibly empowering. It shows that becoming a millionaire isn't about luck, inheritance, or some secret formula. It's about discipline, planning, and making conscious choices every single day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The principles are simple, but they're not easy. They require you to go against the grain and ignore the pressures of consumer culture. But the reward is the ultimate prize: true financial independence. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this summary helpful, let me know in the comments which of these 7 secrets resonated with you the most. See you next time.